Hey y'all, right now riding to the dump, going to throw some trash off. And I know it might be surprising. Some of y'all are probably like, hey 6-shooter, what's a famous YouTuber like you doing going to the dump yourself? Well, I'm just like you. Every now and then, my homestead employees call out sick and I have to do it myself. But anyway, of course y'all should know that's a joke. I'm not very good at humor a lot of times. Some other YouTubers are better than that. Better at that than I am. But anyway, going to the dump. Product placement. You can get this on Teespring and several other things. T-shirts and whatever. They even got a couple of masks on there if that suits your fancy. Sometimes some of the places you go, you have to wear it whether you want to or not. So I figured I'd make a couple and get a couple anyway. If I had to wear one, at least represent, right? So anyway, getting to the point. This may be a random-ish video, but one thing, I've been trying to get my wife to make more videos with me, but a lot of times it's hard to find the time, and a lot of times she doesn't really have a topic she wants to talk about or whatever like that. So if y'all want to see more of her on here, put it in the comments and maybe some questions for her or some topics that you'd like for her to cover, and maybe we can convince her to come on here a little more. So anyway, right now I'm going to the dump, as I said. Going to the local feed store, farm supply store. Get a thing to, I don't know what you call it exactly, but it's basically a rope that you soak in some like insecticide for the cows to rub under and help keep some of the flies off of them. They've been had a lot of flies this year on them. And it's really good to have a local community. I deal with them a lot, being local. The store itself has changed owners about 3 times since I was old enough to remember, since I was a kid and everything. But it's one guy there that's been working there the whole time, so I've known him since I was a kid, and then you get to know the others. And of course, after time, you get to know the ones that own it and everything like that. So being local and knowing them and them knowing you has some added benefits. They're not open as long as like Tractor Supply, stuff like that. But if you need something and you don't have time to make it down there, you can call them, tell them what you need, and they'll set it outside for you. And you can pick it up and either pay for it over the phone or pay for it later. Either one, they're good either way. Stuff like that is very beneficial. If you have some questions, they can, they'll take time to answer you better than like some random employee at a big box store. Things like that. I think, which I talk about it a lot, maybe y'all have gotten tired of it, but I talk about it a lot, that you really need community, you really need people, and small town time living is a good way to do that. for another instance, a buddy of mine is actually a cousin of mine. He's doing some farming too. He's got chickens, things like that. 3 girls, just like I got. He's also raising hay, square bales and stuff. And I got some from him the other day for a really good deal. To be honest with you, he was just going to give it to me, but I paid him anyway because I hate to take it for free after he's done spent time and money in it. But anyway, so we're working out some things. I'm trying to bring him and his family on board with the whole tribe here, and that will give us better numbers, better benefit, and everything like that. So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna have I tried before to have a weekend to do like a community cookout type thing and hang out and everybody meet each other and all that. It just didn't work out due to him having to work. So after that, it got garden planting season and hay cutting season and all that stuff, which I've been in the hay field too. So it just hadn't worked out. But we're going to try to get together like that. And I'm not sure whether he is technically prepping or not, or just kind of enjoys fooling with the farm stuff, because in my area it's just a lot of agriculture. Pretty much everybody grows up doing some kind of farm type stuff, cutting hay, dealing with cows, growing a garden or something. So a lot of people, it's just a way of life and something you grow up doing. So I'm gonna have to talk to him further on that and kind of see what's going on. I'm sure we can help each other a lot doing different things. One thing we're talking about is when he cuts hay again, he needs some help because it's just him doing it. So I'm gonna go help him with that and help him get up the bales mainly and stuff, and get some hay out of the deal that way. So that's going to be good. That's working on building community. As some of y'all know, my buddy, he has a YouTube channel, The Shield Bearer of Faith. If you hadn't checked him out, you should. He's really good with tactical stuff and medical stuff. But not too long ago, he was living really close, what I consider pretty close. He was about 30 to 40 minutes away from me. So, grid up, vehicles and everything, that's close. Grid down, maybe not so much. But we did a lot together, talking different things. He did some training with me. Also did, I would get together with him usually once a week and we'd exercise. He has a lot of those videos over on his Patreon. I don't know if he moved those to YouTube or not, because he used to be a police officer and he basically just did Patreon then. For privacy reasons after things went crazy, but he's doing more YouTube now since he's quit that job. But anyway, me and him was talking about a lot of community stuff and trying to build a community together, kind of bringing my people and his people together and everything like that. We didn't really get too far, but anyway, you definitely need people, I believe. It's going to make things a lot easier. Kind of over on the personal side, the way life is and the way me and my wife both have full-time jobs and everything like that. The kids go to, a local woman we know, and she's been watching them ever since they was babies and everything like that. Sometimes she has to have a day off for, whatever emergency reason and stuff like that. So a lot of times we don't have anybody to watch them. One of us has to take off and stay home with them. But now, with our group with the mag here, usually my buddy's wife is able to, her and her kids come up and keep them and all that kind of stuff, and they enjoy playing together anyway, and really helps us out. And usually she gets a lot of projects around the house done that we hadn't had time to do yet. A lot of times we get behind on, staying caught up with cleaning and clothes and all that kind of stuff. It's really busy time of year with everything going on outside, the kids having softball and everything like that. So having her to be able to come over and watch them and us not have to take off of work is a real lifesaver. So here we are at the feed store. Alright, so I'm out of there now. Got the back rub for the cows and then some other things too. I got a pitchfork, which I've been needing to get one of them for a while. I just had like a small short handle type deal, so I need to go on and get a regular good size one. So anyway, if you haven't started finding people and making a group, I recommend you should do that. Now, sometimes it's harder than others to do that and find people. And if you have a small group or whatever now, maybe it'd be a good time to be looking for some more beneficial people to add. I wouldn't just add anybody or go giving away too much information, like, hey, I'm a prepper and I got such and such group and we're doing all this, and we're looking for people to join, and you could be telling people that's not even into prepping at all, and you're just kind of giving out your information for nothing. So try to know a little bit about the people that you're trying to contact to begin with is my recommendation. Like if you know somebody grows a small garden or does some canning or puts back some extra stuff or something that gives you an idea that they're preparedness minded, maybe you can use that to open the door, get to talking about simple things, and then maybe go into some of the heavier stuff. But right now, I have a smaller group and I'm looking to add more to that as long as they're beneficial and not a liability. So Orville, which lives a little ways from me, he's got some ones that he's been getting together with, and I'm really going to try to make one of their meetings and see what's going on and try to start getting to know more people in more of an area, because it's about an hour away from me, but still it's beneficial to know people. You can still build a community. Maybe it's not as tight knit or as immediately accessible as one that's 5 minutes down the road, but still a lot of skills you can learn from people, maybe teach people. You can do barter, trading, stuff like that. As a matter of fact, one of them is going to give me some of his tame blackberry vines as soon as I can get up there with them. So that's really good. I appreciate that. And maybe I can find something to trade back with him in return. Also, more community-based things. The other week when I was putting up my fence out there at the edge of the road, which is a dead-end road, but it was, anyway, it's the guy that's my kid's ball coach. Him and his grandpa was cutting hay at the neighbors, and I'd asked him a while back about pigs, looking for some at a ball game and stuff, and he said that they had some, but he didn't know if they were going to sell them or not. So they did decide to sell them, so they stopped, you know, when I was doing the fence, and said they already had them loaded up in the trailer at his house and everything. So I went up there to look at them and bought them from him, and drove his truck and trailer down to my house and unloaded them and took it back the next day and everything. They only live about a mile from me, so that's pretty cool. Definitely, I don't see how you could live like in these big cities and stuff where nobody knows their neighbors and you're pretty much just by yourself. I'm used to the small town community and, you know, people helping out one another, and you know, more or less everybody knows each other. It's, you know, not a bunch of strangers that you got to worry about too much and everything like that. I think that's how people are supposed to live, kind of a more tribal type situation, whether you call it a tribe or not. You know, just being a small town community and knowing one another, and, you know, pretty much everybody that has a small business, you've known them since you were a kid and everything like that. So maybe y'all got some useful information out of this video. Maybe it's some tips or encouragement for you to find some group for some people and things like that. Like I said, I try to encourage that. I encourage the prepping and homesteading type living, growing your own food, being as self-reliant as possible. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm not to that level myself, but I'm trying to keep moving forward in that direction, and hopefully one day being able to be totally self-sufficient. So anyway, that's about all I got for this one. Stay prayed up, prepped up, and strapped up. See ya.